Welcome to this Canvas tutorial that shows you how to make a quiz that your students can take online. Now, this is a mostly empty Canvas shell. I'm using this as an upcoming course with another faculty member, but what I've done is I've already created two modules in here. One of them is called Test. The other one is called Week 01. Most of the time, your modules are going to be named for the weeks that your students and you are currently in. Now, as a first step, you can use this plus button here to start creating things, or you can go to the pages that correspond to the types of elements you want to create. In this case, we're creating a quiz, so we can either go to quizzes or create a quiz directly from here. And I'll do that just because it's quick and easy. So in that module where I want to drop the quiz, I will hit the plus button, and I get to pick what I want to create. I have a drop-down menu here that shows the different types of things I can choose from, and in this case, I'm going to pick a quiz. Now, I have no quiz here. I have nothing created yet. This is a mostly blank module. As you create more things, these different drop-down menus will have different elements in these lists, but because it's empty now, I'm going to press New Quiz. I'm going to give my quiz a name. I can call it whatever I want. You know, if you want it to pertain to the subject matter or the chapters you're in. In this case, I'm calling it Week 01 Quiz. I can give it a group, so if I have different groups of things like assignments, quizzes, readings, different types of material that I'm giving to my students, I can assign it to a particular group as well. So if you create a quiz group, you can lump all your quizzes there. If you have an assignments group, you can lump all your assignments there, etc., etc. In this case, because I only have one, it defaults to the only option, which is assignments. So I'm going to add my item. And there it is. Now, it exists, but it has no content. And so we are going to go create content to put in that quiz. So we just click on the title. And the quiz is unpublished. Remember, you have to publish everything that you want your students to see. So here's just an overview of the information at this point, and we can change all of it up here in the Edit section. Week 01 quiz, I can add some instructions down here if I want to, maybe give a little bit of a narrative to my students. And these are all the settings that we want to go over probably before we push it out. But the main body of this tutorial is the questions. So there's a lot here. First of all, new question group means if you need to group your questions together section by section, that's what you would do. But I'm assuming at this point, you're probably just getting online fast. So we're going to just do questions laid out. So I'm going to press New Question. So every time you have a new question, it's going to have a title. And I highly encourage you to number them like so. And I always like to do double digits, even though I'm using single digit numbers like 1. Just in, that way, if it ever needs to get organized by number, perhaps in a spreadsheet elsewhere, it will sort in a more clean fashion. So we have a lot of different types of questions that we can drop in. Multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, multiple drop downs, and hopefully you've been a teacher long enough or a professor long enough to understand what these different options are. If not, we can go over that in a different tutorial. But the caveat is this. If you are giving a test online, any time that students have to enter something, like a short constructed response, and basically anything that can't be verified by the computer will have to be graded by you. So things like essay questions, file upload questions, are things that you would have to review and assign points to. So depending on the type of professor you are now, and I'm not encouraging this pedagogically, it would be the easiest to create multiple choice questions because the computer will grade it for you. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. So we have question 01. We've picked multiple choice as the type, which luckily it defaults to. We're going to add some points. And if you have questions that are worth more points than others, you change the point values here. And then you just ask the question. And we're going to go really basic just to show you how to do it. What is 2 plus 2? Now we know the correct answer is 4. And the way this is set up is this green arrow indicates a correct answer, and every other answer is incorrect. Now, we can shuffle the option order later, or if you want to do it manually, you would do it here. You would pick a different correct answer by clicking that green arrow. So let's pick a few. I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, and 5. And obviously 4 is my correct choice, so I will indicate that. And these buttons down here, you can actually enter comments for when students choose that answer. So if they choose a correct answer, you can leave something encouraging like, great. Or if they choose a wrong answer, you can leave some sort of feedback based on the answer that they chose. Kind of cool. I like that. If you want to do more than 4 answers, that's absolutely fine as well. You can add another answer, or you can delete answers as well if you don't have that many options in your original test. So with that done, I'm going to update this question. That's basically the I have saved this question, and we repeat this step as many times as we need to. So I'm going to make this a 2-question quiz. So I'm going to do question 02, also multiple choice, also worth 1 point. What is 3 times 3? 3, 6, 9, and maybe I want to add a 4th answer. I'll add another question. 12. Add, or I'm sorry, pick the correct answer and update question. And so at this point, I am done with my quiz. I'm going to go back to my details pane right over here. I don't know if I want any quiz instructions for this. You could say something to your students along the lines of, this quiz is due on month, day, year. Quiz type is a graded quiz. You have other options like a practice quiz, a graded survey, an ungraded survey. Those options are fairly self-explanatory, I think. You can change the assignment group right from here as well. This option's pretty great, the shuffle answers option. So let's say in my questions pane, I didn't mix around my answer options. Let's say I left it on first answer correct for all 10 to 15 questions. By checking that box, it'll actually shuffle those answer orders around. Very useful if students are sitting next to each other taking this. You can do a time limit on a quiz once it's started. So basically, once a student sits down at his or her computer, you can give them 60 minutes. They have 1 hour from the moment they sit down to an hour later to get that quiz done, if you want. That's up to you. You can also allow multiple attempts if you're the type of professor who believes in taking a quiz, making mistakes, looking up the right answers, going back, trying to take that quiz again. Once again, flexible for your pedagogical needs. You can also let the students see their quiz responses. Incorrect questions will be marked in student feedback only once after each attempt. You can also let students see correct answers after they've taken the quiz, or even after a certain date. And you can even decide when you're going to show those answers and hide those answers. And you would do that just by picking a calendar date and time here. You can even restrict it to show 1 question at a time. So if you have the type of quiz where question 5 kind of gives you the answer to question 3, you can limit how much they see at any given time. Quiz restrictions also include requiring an access code, which is kind of cool, and you would give them that passcode so that way other students from elsewhere aren't going to take that quiz. Or let's say you have one student in that class who's going to take this quiz as maybe a makeup or something. You can filter IP addresses, meaning, well, I'm not going to get into that. It's a little bit heavy for this tutorial. And you can pick who to assign it to. You can assign it to 1 course, you can assign it to multiple courses. You can probably even assign it to individual students, but I can't see that at the moment. Pick a due date and a due time, and you can tell Canvas when this quiz is available and when this quiz shuts off. So that's kind of cool. And that's it. Once you are done, if you're not ready to push out, press save. If you are ready to push out, save and publish. Remember, publish is that magic word that lets students know, or that lets students see the work that you've done already. So hopefully that helps. and move on forward. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can make a separate tutorial for the more specific things that you need.